Okay, so had some issues earlier. We're going to see how this works now. Anyway, all right, we'll start here. Hi. So last night I wasn't feeling very well. I tried to do really what should have been two videos in one of installing Python and all that, and it didn't go very well. So I'm just going to delete those and we're going to start over. First thing I did want to mention before we get started here, this is mainly for how to use Python if you're a reporter and you need to do, some relatively quick data analysis or for in-depth projects. But there's going to be some. I'm not going to be able to spend a lot of time on the basic stuff. I'm not going to be able to teach you how Python works, the ins and outs, and how to program stuff. This is really more about just data analysis. So keep all that in mind. There are other resources out there. Like I said last night on my introduction video, you got Data School, Scent Desk, automate the boring stuff with Python. You have so many free resources out there to do it. So don't make me your only source for anything, because you're not going to learn a lot. But anyway, let's go to the browser now, and I'll walk you through very generally how to install Python. All right. So this is firstpythonnotebook.org. It's a website from Ben Welsh of the LA Times. This is actually the first course that I ever took. This one was analyzing money in politics, the 2016 election, and from the California Civic Data Coalition. They basically went through and we looked up things like contributions from certain organizations to certain referendums and things like that. It was very useful. I recommend it. The videos are short, and if you really wanted to just power through this lesson, this course, it'd take you about maybe 2.5 hours, something like that. And that's just nonstop. But I did want to bring it here because if anything, if you have any problem downloading anything, you can actually follow Ben Welsh's instructions, and he has videos for everything here. The only thing is that he's using 2.7.13. I'm using 3.6.7. Either one is going to work fine. I believe that 2.7 is on its way out from the things that I understand of this. But I will say, let's go over to Python first. Let me back up here. I'm a little bit ahead of myself. We want to go to www.python.org. You can download the latest version of Python, which is 3.7. I'd recommend 3.6. That's what I'm using. The newest version, 3.7.1, I haven't downloaded, but I did download, 3.7.0 a couple weeks ago, actually. And there were a couple of libraries that didn't work for me. I don't think that, like, the main one we're going to be using is Pandas. That probably works fine. I believe I didn't have any problem with that one. But I think a few other ones, maybe NumPy or Matplotlib gave me some issue. I can't remember. So I just went to 3.6.7. But what you'll do is you go down here, click on the link, and you will go down. If you're on Windows, I recommend the executable installer. Mac has that installer too. There are all these other things that I don't understand, and I'm not going to go over them. But just click the installer, run it like you would any other program. And I did want to mention, as Ben Welsh has on here, as you're installing it, eventually there's going to be a check mark to add python.exe to path. Be sure you check that. I think it's like the third step in the installation process. If you see a checkbox, look for that. If you don't see that one, then you're fine. Just keep on going. But you will see eventually add python exe to path. Click that so that it's a global variable, I believe is the correct term. And you can run a lot of stuff from your command prompt. That'll take maybe 10 minutes, depending on how quick your system is. This one's a little bit longer. It's your code compiler. You're going to need this to function, basically. I'm sorry, I can't. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I've only been learning this for about 1.5 years. I just know you have to have this. You see here, it's code.visualstudios.com. There's a few different, I guess, packages you can download, versions, complicated things that I don't understand. So simple answer is go here, download. If you have Windows, I believe that I did the system installer 64-bit. Just download that, install it. There's Linux, there's Mac. Another interesting thing, if you're on a Mac, you should already have Python 2.7 installed. Bring up your terminal. Python dash version will tell you. It'll probably pop up there, Python 2.7.14 or something like that. And then you'll see it. You might already have the code compiler on there. I'm not certain, but couldn't hurt to download it anyway. And this one's a bigger file. It's going to take some time. I think that I was downloading some extra stuff with it, and it took me like a half an hour to download and install. It's going to vary, internet connection, everything. But once you have these two ready, then we'll move on to the next video here, where I will install virtual environment, and I'll explain that, Jupyter Notebook, pandas, and we will read our first data set in. And then I want to do another video, hopefully tonight, of something a little bit more interesting and a little bit more relevant to how a reporter uses this. So that should be it. Let's get started.